Hi, I'm Bri, and these are some of my thoughts after my reread of The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. I'm actually going back and rereading all the Percy Jackson books, all the spin-offs and everything. So if you want me to go back and do a little video on The Lightning Thief, let me know, and I would love to do that. But I just read The Sea of Monsters. I'm rereading a Percy Jackson book between every other book I read so that I'm not stuck reading the series for months at a time, because there are a lot of them. As you can see, I have 2 shelves worth of Percy Jackson books here. But I have all my notes in my lovely Camp Half-Blood notebook. I found it at Barnes & Noble. It's official merch, which is so cool to find now that the TV show is out, which I can talk about the TV show too, if that's something you guys be interested in. But I was really excited to go back and read this book because I remember not really liking it as a kid. And when I say I didn't like it, I mean it wasn't my favorite of the series. I still enjoyed it. I still loved it. These are some of my favorite series ever. I have a little lightning bolt tattoo for it under my watch there. But I was excited to go back as an adult and sort of see what I could find, a more analytical approach. I treat every book I read like I'm about to write a 10-page paper on it. So I was really excited to take a look through it. This is my original book. It's very old and kind of falling apart. You can see the spine is sort of broken. But onto my notes. The first thing that I kind of noticed is that The Sea of Monsters sets the foundation for the series better than I thought The Lightning Thief did. I thought it just expanded the world. The Lightning Thief is very much about getting the lightning bolt back to Zeus, saving Percy's mom, which there's nothing wrong with. I love that book so much. But I felt The Sea of Monsters, because we get Kronos' plan, the pieces start falling into place, it just makes it that much higher of stakes. So it makes it more exciting to me. And I really like that in this book. You kind of see those stones being set in place, and it just made everything great. And along with that, I felt that the tone was a little more serious in this book. The Lightning Thief is very, very silly, which I love. And Rick Riordan has that tone throughout all of his books of the silliness. But I felt Percy's inner monologue, while still being sarcastic narration, he kind of was he's insecure in this book. So you kind of see that teenage insecurity kind of leak through. At one point he even wishes he could drown, which I'm pretty sure he wished in The Lightning Thief as well, and it's something we see throughout the book, so get that boy a therapist. He needs to see somebody. But it just takes a little darker of a tone, and I really like that as well. Next, I thought that Luke and Percy as foils was done really well in this book. We kind of see the groundwork in The Lightning Thief because they are very much posed as similar characters. They both have their own gripes with the gods for similar and different reasons. The gods are not good parents. The system is clearly broken, and we see them bond over that, and that's what makes Percy really feel as if he has a brother in Luke, and that betrayal really hits hard at the end. And in The Sea of Monsters, we kind of see their differences more, what makes them different. And Luke is in this search for glory. That's why he kind of turned towards Kronos. He wants to be seen. He wants recognition. He wants glory. He was so mad that he had that repeat quest, and he kind of failed that quest, and that he let that failure define him, and it left him bitter and angry. And he had every right to be bitter and angry, but he really took that to heart and let it define him and his choices, and he turned toward Kronos, who could give him the recognition he wants. Even though Kronos doesn't want Luke, he wants Percy or Talia, but we'll get into that maybe later. So just those two differences is Percy's not looking for glory. He's just kind of trying to do what's right. Percy was raised right by Sally Jackson. So he's trying to do what's right, and that's why whenever Percy gives the golden fleece to Clarice at the end and Luke meets up with him, he can't believe it, because that's not something he would do. He would want to finish the quest, get the glory from camp, be a hero for his father. And Percy lets Clarice have that, which is this great moment, because you gotta let everybody just do what they gotta do. So I noticed that, and I really like that. And I also noticed a theme that while the Lightning Thief is about Percy becoming a hero, the Sea of Monsters is more about defining what hero you are going to be, what it means to be a hero. Chiron gives this great little speech to Percy at the end of the book about why being a hero is special, because demigods bridge the gap between humanity and the eternal. I love that. I just thought it was so special for Percy to hear that, because it matters why you're doing what you're doing. You're not there to seek that glory like Luke is, because that could easily turn on you when you don't get it. You have to do it because mankind, because you want to do what's right, because you are working for something or striving for something bigger than yourself. So I love that part. And the very last thing I have, and I think this is the biggest thing, and we're going to see this throughout the series, is that any demigod could have been Luke. I saw this with Clarice a lot in this book, because she is, for as mean as she is, it's really sad to see how Ares treats her. We see that moment in this book where he belittles her and says that he should have given this quest to one of his sons because they could handle it and she can't. And even her own cabin mates desert her. They don't go on the quest with her, and you just feel for her. And that very well could have been the moment that Clarice turns on the gods. I mean, she has every right to, just as Luke did, to be angry and to be upset and just to, like, not want to work for them anymore. Because that's what being a demigod is. You work for the gods, you work for mankind, and, you know, it's all about whether you want to reform the system or you want to burn it to the ground and start anew. So those are your two sides. And I could definitely see Clarice being one of those people who would turn their back on the gods. And I saw that a lot in this book, and I really love that. And you saw it with Percy and the Lightning Thief, how he very well could have. I mean, the gods were just putting everything on him. Ares tricked him, then Hades takes his mom. Like, these kids have every reason to hate their parents. So I thought that was really interesting. And those are my main points. I actually wrote a blog post. My blog is lifeofbride.com, and I will actually put it somewhere, either in the caption or up above. So you can check out if you want to hear more of my thoughts. You can read them there. Or if you have any questions for me, I'd love to talk more. I love discussing books. If you want me to do the Lightning Thief review, let me know. And yeah, that's all. See ya!